Are you trying to master networking and building wealth like never before? Then you're in luck. They're an Elite Edge podcast. We had world-renowned Dagan Martinez-Vargas coming here to break down all the best strategies for networking, building wealth, and getting out of crap situations that you want to be in. In 2025, this is the best time to maximize your network and your net worth. So, Dagan, thank you for being here. Happy how you part of the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Of course, my pleasure. So I know this is a quick introduction about who you are, but like obviously you can do it way more justice than me. But introduce yourself a little bit more to the audience here.
Yeah, for sure. So most people know me from a decade in the alcohol industry, which is where I worked for many years, representing huge brands. You may have heard of some of them: Dos Equis, Corona, Coors Light, Jack Daniels, Woodford, and many others. And used to work in the nightlife scene. And at one time was even called the mayor of Austin nightlife, being Austin, Texas. And before that, I was a graduate at UT Austin, and before that was also a Boy Scout and became an Eagle Scout. So I always like to tell people, can't trust an Eagle Scout. Who the heck can you trust? And so that's been some things that have been huge. And in college, I was a biology major, and so know a lot about all things in the biology sector of medicines and issues, diseases, viruses, stuff like that.
That is incredible. The mayor of nightlife in Austin, Texas is a great title.
Yeah, it was, and of course this was between like 2000 and 2010. So not every single person had a phone that they were attached to all the time, Googling and watching all these influencers on where to go. So people would always be reaching out to me throughout the evening. Hey, so-and-so's in town, or my parents are here. Or I have my girlfriend wants to go out. Where do I go? I used to be like 411 for where to go and what to do. And people would look at where I'm going and they would follow me over there because they knew I had a free drink tab and I probably knew where the hottest party was. And so they're like, yeah, he's like the mayor of the nightlife.
That's epic. That is epic and elite. It's like, what helped you get to that point in your life to become, the mayor of the nightlife back then?
Yeah, it was basically when I was hired on by the beer company, beer distributor. I started going around and meeting all the bars. But the thing was, a lot of people just would go and sell their product, and go in during the day when the bar wasn't open and just talk to the owner. What I did was I would do some of those, but I'd also try to go in the later in the day, like after 3-5 o'clock, and visit and say hello to the door guy, say hello to the bartender, say hello to the manager, and talk to them, because it doesn't matter what you set up with the owner. The people moving your product you need to talk to them, because they're the ones that are going to promote your beer or whatnot. And so some of the liquor companies noticed how well I was doing it. And so when I was ready to leave, I got several job offers, including one from Brown-Forman Brands, which is Jack Daniels. And I went to them and they said, hey, we want you to just like get to know everyone and know what everyone's doing. And one of the funny things was, a lot of those, those promotion models you would see walking around with, a brand, and they're handing out free stuff. At the time, one or two agencies would cycle all the girls through all the companies.
Wow.
And at the distributor, we had our own team, but they covered all of our brands, which was a couple of dozen brands. So when I went to work for Jack Daniels, I said, you know what? I'm going to do something that no one else is doing. The ladies will be my own team. They're only going to promote my 4 or 5 brands, and they're going to know everything about the brands. They're not going to be just promotion models. They're going to be ambassadors. And so everywhere we went, when they would see my team, they knew it was my team. They're like, yeah, y'all are the Jack team. When they'd see some of the other girls with some of these other brands, like, I don't know, Jaeger or whatever else was out there, they were like, yeah, these girls, they just promote whatever is paying them for that night. They're not true fans. And then within a few years, all the other brands started copying me. They all started to try to have their own teams because they realized it made a difference.
Mm-hmm. You definitely pioneered that. That's incredible. And like, you know, for those who don't know, Dagan is one of the best authors around and public speakers you probably already tell by how he's talking so far. He has a book as well called Play the Room. And obviously I think that probably plays a lot in what happened back in the industry he was doing. So what helped you make that book? What inspires you to make that book? And how to help other people, you know, play the room themselves?
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned when I then moved a little bit and was dabbling in the tech world for about 2 years in the downtown tech world, people started realizing right away, or they thought I had already been in the network for a while. And because I seemed comfortable, I knew a lot of people, and I would show up to everything. And what I'd learned is everyone by the age of 15 or 16, when you start having a real job, everyone is taught how to sell. We're all taught how to sell by our bosses, our family, wherever, but we're all taught how to sell. We're not taught how to market and promote ourselves. Well, at Jack Daniels, I didn't have to sell Jack Daniels. That's not my job. That's the bartender's job. I had to promote us so to help them sell more. So it was a mindset of marketing yourself, and people didn't know how to do that. So then when I copied that in the tech world, it worked very well. And I got everywhere. I got to know all the important people. I got to get on stages. I got to go to all the big events. And then when I started my own business and in the insurance business, I started networking, different type of networking. You know, you're going to daytime events and networking with other people that are not in insurance. I started doing the same thing, and people were like, "Oh my God, you just like came in and disrupted the whole room." And like we think you're a member. You're not. This is your first time here. And I go, "Yeah." And so people were just shocked, and I realized people weren't doing what I was taught on how to do, and that's because 99% of us are not taught like that. So to answer your last question, is the biggest thing I see is people don't practice or plan or work on what to do when they walk into a room. If you're going to a gala, an event, if you're going to a basketball game, even if you're going to a network event, what are you going to say? How are you going to promote yourself so that you can then later sit down with someone and actually sell them? We all know, like if I tell you, hey, if you're in real estate and hey, I'd like to buy a home. Can you help me? You're going to be like, whoa, this is amazing. Yes. All right, let's sit down. Here's my questions. Here's what we got to do. And you're going to be able to walk me through the whole process till the closing, right? Yeah. But when I tell you to stand up and talk about yourself, not you personally, but you could be like, well, I want to talk to anyone that wants to buy a house. Yeah, we already know that, dum-dum. Like, tell me something I don't know. Well, rates are high. And so this is or rates are low, or this is a great time to buy, or this is a great time to sell. Yeah, I already know that. I read Yahoo News this morning, or I watched CNN. Like you start fumbling around and you're messing up your engagement with the person or people in front of you to then be able to sit down and sell with them. So that's the biggest thing I notice is people just come in and go, I'm just going to wing it. And I was like, really? Is that how you... Let me ask you this. If I have a 6-figure client and I want to send to you, Jordan, and I see that you just wing it when you show up, do you think I want to send my client to you to maybe help him buy $1 million home when you seem to be a guy that just wings it? And so that's the biggest thing is we all practice how to sell. We don't practice how to get to the sell.
That is so powerful. I think also like not talked about enough. That you should have a plan when you go to rooms, meet new people, you're networking, not just winging it, as you were saying, because it's showcases that you're not really committed and it will help them in the best interest. And it comes down to your ask about selling versus marketing. I think that is so spot on. One of my mentors told me that a salesperson can make 6, 7, maybe 8 figures a year, but a marketer can make 8, 9, 10 plus figures a year because that's the number one skill to have. It's not who do we know, who knows us. So I think your book by, Play the Room is so powerful for that fact. And do you think that your book is only for those who like you who extroverted or for introverts as well?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's networking is not created for extroverts. We know how to talk. We can go talk to a wall. We can talk to people at the grocery store. It's created for introverts. And here's the funny thing is, what introverts don't like is they don't like chaos. They don't like unplanned. They don't like to just walk in a room and not know what to do. And so that's what my book focuses on. It focuses on what you need to do beforehand. So when you walk into the chaos, it's not chaos. Like when I walk into a room, I don't care if it's a breakfast, if it's a luncheon meeting, if it's a happy hour, if it's a late night evening. I know what I'm going to say every time when someone asks me, what am I doing there? I know basically how to talk about my product. I know how not to sell them. Even if they're interested, that's a hard thing. They're interested in buying, but how not to sell them. And all the things I need to say and do. And if you plan ahead, that's an introvert's dream, is to know what they do before they walk in the room. The problem with introverts is they walk into the room because they haven't figured out how to plan it. And so then they walk in the room and they're like, yeah, I don't like all this. And they go up to someone, they go hang out in the corner, they go hang out the whole 2 hours with one of their buddies that they already know. And it's like, you already know him. You don't need to talk to him. So yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know for me, being an introvert myself, a huge one, even if some of you really can't tell, I know if I'm at an event and public speaking, I have an agenda in mind, so easy. I can talk to everybody. I'm there for a purpose. This is what I'm doing. But I'm just there to hang out. Totally different scenario because, you said you need that plan of attack moving forward. And you kind of already talked about this a little bit, how like you were networking back in the industry of the alcohol industry and how it helped you so much. How else has networking helped you in your career so far?
I mean, it helps with everything I do. I mean, like example, I sell insurance, and I'm when I stand up and mention things to people, I say, hey, I'm a crap hits the fan consultant. And because no one cares about insurance, and most people are scared to even talk about insurance. So I can't come in, I sell insurance. Why? So I'm a crap hits the fan consultant. And now when I say that out there to people and I put it in my signature line everywhere, guess what happens when someone says, oh man, Jordan, I need some insurance? You're going to right away go, dude, I know this crap hits the fan consultant. He can help you. And he's like, your friend's going to be like, oh, well, I feel like crap has hit the fan. I need help. And so by making it an easy way for you to refer me, I'm creating a much bigger community much faster and helping introduce one person to the other, because we all in this day and age, we can only remember small little tidbits. And so it's like, hey, who's that crap hits the fan guy? And you can look me up real fast, even if you forget my weird name, like Dagan, and you can easily find me out there on the internet. You can easily connect and find me. And that's what you remember in your head. If I just say I'm an insurance guy, guess what the other 10 guys said that you met in the last 2 weeks networking? They also said they're insurance guys. And now you're like, which insurance guy is the guy I'm supposed to reach out to? By creating a brand or a name, that's helped. And that helps with everywhere I go. I went to a basketball game this week, a college basketball game. And before we went to our seats, I was like, hey, look, there's a lounge over there. Let's go and mingle. There's a bunch of people over there. They're buying food and drinks. And we went over there and I ran into someone, and he was in real estate. And I didn't know that. I'd known him for years, but I hadn't seen him in a while. And he's in real estate. And the person I was with was also in real estate, but not selling real estate, but he helps real estate people. And I said, oh, you two should meet each other. Well, he's the one that invited me to the game. And within the first 5 minutes of being there, I introduced him to someone where they can both help each other out with business. And that's while me and him were just hanging out and having fun. But because I already knew how to navigate a room and how to walk in and what to say, what to do, what to look for, I was able to connect those two in 5 minutes of the game. In fact, when we left the game, he had like 2 or 3 connections by the end of the game.
Wow, that's a superpower.
I know. I only made like 1 or 2, I think. And I'm like, wait, I helped you more than I helped myself. But
good friend.
yeah, guess what? And now next time he has another ticket to the basketball game, who do you think he might call?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And I think what you do with your crap hit the fan consultant, some of that's better than like the 15-second elevator pitch. 15 seconds is a long amount of time to talk to somebody and gather their attention. But like I do this, like, wait, what? What do you do? How does this work exactly? It's way more natural and organic, I think, as well. And kind of playing the room.
Yeah, and like one of the things I do when I first, if I'm at a network event and they have you stand up and say something, either if they go around the room or they're like, hey, any new guests, stand up and say something. I'll always, almost every time, the first time I stand up. Now, I'm not telling everyone else to go do this because this takes some skill, but I will stand up and I'll say, hey, yeah, thanks to Jordan for inviting me here today, but he kind of tricked me and said I had to pitch in rhyme. So here I go. And then I do my pitch in rhyme, like a Dr. Seuss rhyme, a whole rhyme. And people are just like blown away. And some people don't even catch even exactly what I do, but they're so mesmerized that I did a rhyme that they come up to me. It's like, I want to know more about what you sell because, wow, that was amazing. And then on another pitch, I do it to music. I bust out my phone and I play something, but that song is a 20-second clip. So I know exactly how long it's going to last and I know what to say. And I've already timed myself 50 times while driving in my car to a client's business. I've timed myself for 20 seconds saying that same pitch over and over and over. So when I'm standing in front of a room, I hit play. It plays the Mission Impossible theme song. So dun 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 dun, like that. And I start doing my pitch and I say, and I even try to do the voice. I go, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to introduce me to 3 or 4. And then I go into that. And in 20 seconds, I say this message self-destructs in 5, 4, 3, 2. And when I say 1, my phone, because it's a 20-second clip, shuts off automatically. And I'm not holding it. It's just sitting there on speaker. And everybody's like, did he just not only do a pitch to music? He timed it. Like his phone literally self-destructed like in the movie. And again, a lot of people I'm not telling everyone to like get crazy and like start juggling and doing crazy things, but it makes you stand out. And the more you can stand out, the more money you will make. Grant Cardone tries to stand out. Brian Tracy's written how many books now? Like 80? Yeah. His standing out is doing all those books and speaking. What are you doing to stand out? And introverts can do it all day long. It's just what they do. Like you're an introvert, but yet you're doing a podcast. Because you can be a situational introvert also. Yep. So or extrovert, and a situational extrovert. You can be extroverted when needed, but the difference between me and you, and maybe some of your viewers, is they're hardcore extroverts. They're like, I would never be a speaker or a podcaster. You could be situational. And when you do this, when you're done with this podcast, not saying this is you, but as an example, Jordan, you might after this go, whew, all right, I did that. I'm exhausted. I'm taking it easy the rest of the day. With an extrovert like me, guess what I'm ready to do after this? I'm like, let's go do another one. Come on. So there's different layers and levels of attitude, and knowing what that is good. And like if I were to approach you in a room, I'm not going to come with all this energy like that I'm doing right now. I'm going to, as soon as I'm meeting you or seeing you or feeling your vibe, I'm going to approach you and I'm going to try to mimic you, but maybe a little bit higher. And so that I don't like overwhelm you.
I think what you just mentioned is so impactful because I think a lot of people are timid to, have fun with talking to people and having engagements and so forth on, playing the Mission Impossible soundtrack when doing a little pitch or to rhyme your things. I think for public speaking, communication is about having fun and using an instrument to display that, which you do really well. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Toastmaster fan, being one myself. And Dagan actually one of the last gold level speakers for Toastmasters. You probably already tell a lot about how he does that. And I'm kind of curious, like, what helped you go from, making a book, doing the whiskey industry, Jack Daniels and stuff, now to doing, kind of the fan consultant? What made that transition for you?
Yeah, so it's when you're looking at doing something that you're going to spend a lot of time and energy, you need to look at it as a stepping stone to the next thing. So when I was leaving the Jack Daniels industry, I had spoken on many stages. And it could be stages of all sorts. It could be talking to 8 men at a private golf course and doing a cigar and bourbon tasting, or it could be introducing a band on stage to 500 people. I wasn't doing huge concerts, but normal size concerts. Introducing the band that we're sponsoring, because they're like, yeah, Dagan, get up there. You're with Jack Daniels. You're a sponsor, so introduce them. And I was like, I want to keep my skills going. And I asked a few of my friends. I had posted something about it or whatnot, and one of them said, hey, Dagan, you should come to Toastmasters. It'll help you hone your skill. It'll not only help you keep those skills, but hone them. And I said, yeah, why not? I'm going to need to keep doing some kind of speaking over the next few years, I'm guessing. So then I did that. Well, then I used all those skills in Toastmasters and at Jack Daniels in my networking. And I didn't realize I had this networking skill of how to, communicate and pre-sell so that you're not selling. And when I would sit down with people, they would say, man, Dagan, I've learned more in the last hour than I've learned in the last 6 months of promoting myself. And in fact, I'm kind of upset now because I've been losing money. I didn't even know I was losing money, but because I was doing some of the mistakes that you're mentioning, I was doing some of the mistakes that you're mentioning. I've been losing money. I wish I met you 6 months ago. You should write a book. And I said, nah, I don't want to write a book. That sounds like a lot of energy. And then I got told about at least 40 times I should write a book. And a few people said, the good thing is if you write a book, you don't have to do all these meetings. You could just hand them the book and say, go read this. And you could get to more people. And I said, you know what? That's my community. And my community kept telling me to do something. Is that from the man upstairs? Is that from my own gut? Is that your aura? I don't know what it is. But if you're not listening to the people around you that are being positive, then then I'm not preaching I'm not doing what I'm preaching. So I said, damn it. All right, I'll write a damn book. And so then I wrote the book, and that's what's helped. And it's been helping a lot of people. And then of course, now that I do a book, now I'm working on doing once a month little short seminars where people can come, like a webinar, like on Zoom. They can come on and I can teach about the book and help you use what you learned in the book. And for that, and those are free. I don't charge people for them. But so when you're doing the things in life, you should always look at it as a stepping stone to the next thing. You're never at a completion. It's how can you, now that you've done this, how can you utilize this time and energy for the next thing?
I think that is probably one of the most truthful things people are listening to this so they can take to heart. Like everything you're doing right now is the next stepping stone, next point, help you get past the next hurdle and so forth. And just so I'm clear though, Dagan, you kind of tell me that you not always had the skill of talking to people and being a good networker. You weren't born that way.
Well, I know. If my parents would say yes, I've had it since elementary school. I used to get pink slips back in the day, and they would the teachers on my report cards, because of course my mom, she was a lawyer, she kept all that stuff. On my report cards in the comment section, it would say Dagan is one of the best kids in the class. He sits in the front. He likes answering questions, but he also likes to make jokes out loud and get everyone to laugh. And he doesn't raise his hand and blurts out the answers. And so they'd get you a pink slip. That in this day and age, teachers know how to navigate the room better. They didn't know that back in those days. And so I would just get pink slips and I'd get in trouble for it. And I was like, in this day and age, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble for that kind of stuff. Like I'm yelling out the actual answers to questions without raising my hand properly. You know, that's not why you should get grounded and not be able to go play with your friends. So yeah, no, they would say I've had that ability, but it was honed on me on how to do that. Can I give you a perfect example?
I love one.
So I'll talk about one in real estate, and I love real estate people. Because I do infinite banking, I dabble in that world. But if you go on Facebook right now and go through all your thread, there's only one occupation of people that are going online and saying, hey, I sold something. I sold a home. And it's $1 million. Now, why are you doing that? Well, you're bragging that you did your job. All right. You sold something between two people that wanted to sell and buy something. So on social media, you'll sit there and go, hey, I just sold a home. Da, 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 da. Now, if I know basic math, and you just told me it's $1 million home, I can kind of pretty easily figure out what you just made on that home, right? So I'm gonna be like, Jordan, guess what I do every time? I send you a private message and I say, hey, Jordan, that's awesome. You sold that home. Let's go to lunch next week. And by the way, it's your treat because I see how much you just made. Like you're bragging that you just did something. You don't have heart surgeons saying, I saved 5 lives today, or a divorce lawyer, I helped 2 families prevent or go through divorce, or maybe save their marriage. You know, there's no other occupation that goes online and loves talking about them successfully doing their job. Nobody. So the question is, I'm not saying not to do that. You can post that you sold a home, but what value are you giving me for posting that? So is it, it was awesome that we sold this home because blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, this house just sold. I don't need to know how much it sold. I don't even need to know that you sold it, because you might have a team of people. But the hierarchy, the agencies teach the guys to push that out there. And then here's the funny part. They then tell them, you need to post that your house is available. And so then they're like, well, I'm not going to be a salesperson. I'm going to be a marketing person. So guess what they do? They post on Facebook or whatever social media and say, hey, this new house at this new address costs this much square feet, and is in this school district. Hit me up if you have any questions. Here's my number. Now, is that an ad? That's an ad, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's an ad. And so they just said they're not going to do the ad, and they don't sell people, but they just did an ad. And it's marketing, but it's an ad. Instead, I'm not saying, again, I would never say not to do any of these things. Yes, you should do these. Learn from the best that teach it. But they're doing it without doing it correctly. And so one thing would be to do, if it was someone like me, I would say, this is a new home for sale in Crested Bluff area. This is going to be amazing. I love their pool and their island in the kitchen that's 20 feet long that could host all great parties. This is so awesome. And then shut up. And then Jordan, guess what happens if you're interested in that home? Did I tell you how much it cost? Did I tell you how many square feet? Did I tell you the address? No, I didn't tell you a bunch of stuff, because if I told you all that, guess what you have to do? You're going to just read all that and go, yeah, that doesn't apply to me because that address is 2 blocks too far, or that house is out of mind. So now I don't need to reach out to you. But if I'm like, oh, I'm interested in buying a home, and I reach out to Jordan and I say, hey, Jordan, how much is it? What is the square feet? What is all this? And then you answer me, Jordan, Guess what? And I say, yeah, I don't think that's in for me. What's your next question?
What do you want instead then? How can I help you find another opportunity?
Exactly. Now we're engaged. You know that I'm looking. If you just verbal diarrheaed all the information on Facebook, I don't need to reach out to you. Now that's a lost sale. And the biggest problem, and this is not just real estate, this is every one of them, every occupation, people they go, oh yeah, but I get a couple of hits when I do that. Yeah, but how many hits are you not getting because you're doing it wrong? And then guess what? Do you think I'm going to chime in on your ad? No, because what's Facebook's algorithm going to do?
Hide it.
Well, no, but if I chime on it,
and boost it more.
It's going to send me more ads, ads about people selling homes, and I'm not even trying to buy a home. So guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to click. So then you post this thing about this house. Now, if I post the house and say, isn't this island awesome? It's 20 feet. I'm just making up stuff, 20 feet long, or this pool is amazing. What would you imagine doing around this pool? And then I'm going to be like, oh, I know what I would do. This pool, I would throw a house party, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm getting comments and I'm getting engagement and I'm getting people saying that. And now Facebook algorithm is going to push that out more to more people. So it's interesting. I never tell people to stop doing something. I usually tell them, no, keep doing it. Let's just do it right.
Yeah. Do it better.
Do it better so that you get more engagement. And I don't care how successful. I know people that sell a lot of homes. And they've said, oh yeah, I could do better at that. And I'm probably losing some. And the funny thing is, usually the more homes someone in real estate I see sell, the less likely they're doing the sales ads. You know who are doing the sales ad postings? Are the real estate people that are desperately needing to sell because business been low or whatever, market's been bad, blah, blah, blah. And so they're selling. And I'm not lying on my Facebook. I go and put snooze. If you post a thing about how you're trying to sell a home, I'm going to snooze it because I don't want Facebook to keep sending me a bunch of those because I have like 50 realtor friends. I don't need to see all that. I want to see my realtor engaging with me. I want him putting on there, providing, hey, it's winter time. This is the best time to do this for your house. This is the best time to do this. Hey, a great place to go buy firewood. If you need firewood is this. They're giving away free wood. Like engage, do that. Then because I'm getting the value out of you, when I need to actually buy or sell my home, I'm going to reach out to you. Not because you kept telling me, you kept posting all these $1 million homes you're selling.
I think that's so spot on. I think, the culture of selling Sunset and Mineral listing all these different platforms is a huge part of that. I see that in real estate. I also do sometimes myself. It's like we want to be the celebrity, the famous person in front of the house. And it's not about us, about the house in the first place. You're saying, like, how can I add more value to the marketplace? How can I help more people see this house and see themselves inside the house? Like for us in Austin, the average days on market right now is 78 days average on market. My fastest transaction has been 4 hours this year. 4 hours versus 78 days.
Wow.
And because, like you were saying, I understand that no one cares about the square foot, all these things. They do. They care about, is it good for them?
Yeah.
So MLS, most agents, like you're saying it's in this neighborhood, it's this many square feet, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this home won't last long. It is epically entertaining, massive backyard, close to this, and this. By doing that, as you were saying, we get way more hits. So people are like, wow, this sounds incredible. I want to learn more, and I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
I think it's so powerful, like you're saying, like having that plan in mind, having that agenda, and knowing where you're taking people to go to, like having an adventure almost. I feel like you say kind of spot on, like having an adventure or journey with your audience.
Yeah, because here's the problem. Our whole lives, we're taught how to internalize and think of the things for us. The one thing that I've learned over the years is the old verbiage that you hear, put yourself in their shoes. People aren't doing that. And so that real estate person's like, oh, they're going to want to see pictures of all the pool. They're going to want all the information. They're going to want all this. So I'm going to send it. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't send it. It's okay to be vague, because vague brings engagement.
Yep.
And so they try to think of what the person wants, but they're still thinking of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking of the client. They're thinking, well, what would I be interested in? I think I'd be interested in this. And I'm like, yeah, but again, you're thinking of you. You need to think of what your clients want or what your potential clients want. And you don't see that. You see, let's say a roofer. A roofer will show up and goes, yeah, I want to talk to anyone who owns a home.
Yep.
Really? Yeah, I already knew that. So,
Mm-hmm.
funny guy, you can say that as a joke if that's your opener, but you need to get into the specifics.
Yeah.
I met someone that sells a water filtration system. And she says, I'd love to talk to anyone that really loves water and that's very health conscious and worried about what goes in their body. And then that was it. And I'm like, yeah, but I care about my water, and I installed a filter on my tap in my kitchen for $40 from, let's say, Walmart or Target.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need a whole filtration system that you sell that costs probably like $2,000?
Yeah.
And so when she says that, she's kind of trying, but not really there yet. And that's not a bad thing. But if she wants to get me to send her business, she needs to say, I would like to talk to people that live outside of the major city, that their water tastes like crap. Or I would like to talk to people who live in like mobile homes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would like to talk to businesses that are out in the middle of nowhere.
So
I would like give me very, very specific. So many people when they talking, they don't want to get too specific because they don't want to accidentally leave people out there. And I'm like, that's okay. You can say, you remember, it's kind of funny. I'm saying to be vague, but be specific. I'm telling you, there's things you should be vague about and things you should be specific about. So specific of who you want to meet, but vague about all the other stuff that's just fluff.
Yeah.
I help, another good example, and then I'll shut up, is every single person in real estate, but also home service contractors and others, almost everyone will say, I provide great customer service. And then they move on to the rest of their pitch. And I'm like, of course you're going to say that. Who in here does bad customer service?
Always admit it.
Right. So the trick is, don't tell me you provide great customer service. Explain how you do that. And you're like, yeah, I helped someone get moved in on Christmas, and I was there on Christmas helping, making sure the paperwork was done and the moving truck showed up. And once the movers started going, I hightailed it out there and made it to Christmas dinner. That's what I do for my clients. I'm going to remember that story forever. I'm not going to remember that you said you gave great customer service, just like every other person says.
And you should do that anyways.
Right. But you can tell what I call a mini story in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You can do that. That's not complicated. So I provide great customer service. So as one example, I helped blah, 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 blah. And so many people aren't doing that. And when they read the book or they talk with me, I show them that, they see an immediate difference. I've had people tell me their phone started ringing the next morning after they change just little things here and there, but it made a huge difference. It's like the horseshoe on the conqueror's horse before he goes into battle. I'm doing something with the horseshoes. I'm just adjusting them so that they work well. And because it's done right, the horse doesn't stumble and fall. The general is able to lead his army properly, and they win the war. All because the guy that adjusted the shoes properly. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not rechanging your whole business. I'm just adjusting everything you're doing to streamline it.
That is super impactful. I think a lot of times people think I have a whole new business model, a whole new approach. When you're saying right now, it's like, no. Keep doing what you're doing. Just have slight tweaks, slight improvements. make it more impactful, more memorable to people to see what's going on. And guys, if you're not done so already, make sure you grab his book, Play the Room, The Soul Guide to Networking. Yeah, change the way you do business forever. Again, this Ed's podcast will top players become world-class players. Definitely grab his book. And I think it's so true as well about how you need to have your avatar, your buyer's avatar. Who are you talking to? Why are you talking to them? How can you help them? Be vague about the other stuff, but how can you help that person? Because if you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. And on that note about, businesses and services and stuff, what point in time do people talk to people like you, Dagan, about insurance, infinite banking, all different strategies? Like, what's the best time to get that conversation going, and why?
Yeah. So reaching out to me, of course, I always tell everyone you should reach out to people, especially in the business community, through email or LinkedIn. I wouldn't go right away looking for me and adding me on Facebook. There's probably at least 30 people on my Facebook that are pending. And if I don't know you, I've got my kids and family on there. But that's the best place is looking for me there and reaching out. I would say also one of the things to do is learning to, and then, by the way, if I follow me telling me, hey, I would like to come to your next webinar, and I'd invite you to that. But even here, you see that you're the elite realtor.
Mm-hmm.
You've branded something, just like I'm a crap hits the fan consultant. If you just say I'm a realtor, I'm just an insurance guy, that's just not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, what are you doing to engage and connect with those people? And it's doing all those types of things that will help you do business better. So I do infinite banking because it's a form of life insurance. I do already sell life insurance, but I did infinite banking because I work with a lot of real estate people. And infinite banking allows you to borrow from your life insurance and avoid the two things that everyone in real estate hate: taxes and interest. If you borrow money to buy a car, to buy your home, to fund your wedding, whatever you're going to do, we're all hit with taxes and interest. So how do you avoid those two things? Is fund a life insurance and then pull the money back out and borrow it. But it's got to be a very specific policy type that you build. And right now it's a big fad that there's other agents now doing it, and they're not even really building it correctly. They think they are, but they're not, because it's got to be built a certain way. And I do those things. Now, what I did with my business is selling disability, life insurance, cancer, heart accident policies, a lot of this stuff. It was considered luxury items, not necessity. What's necessity? Car insurance, home insurance, health insurance. Now, whether you agree they're necessity or luxury, doesn't matter. Society feels like these are mandatory. These are necessities. So then in my business, I then started looking at selling health insurance, because I don't want to go chasing clients all the time.
Yeah.
Because then I'm a hunter. I want people calling me. I want my phone to ring sometimes. By selling health insurance, everyone needs health insurance, or pretty much. And they need it in some form, either through work or on their individual side. So I started selling health insurance. Well, guess what? My phone rings all the time now. And then guess what I can talk about after we do the health insurance? Hey, do you have your life policy? Do you have disability? Do you have a cancer policy? Do you have any of these other things that you need? Do you have a key man policy on your business? Because you and your business owner both own the property. If your business, if your partner passes away tomorrow, and let's say it's a male, his spouse now takes over the business. What are you going to do? Oh, no, I don't know. That would be terrible, because she knows nothing about the business. She's in her own business. Okay. So we need to fund it with a life policy so that you can pay her out and she can take the money and go. And you both owners sign policies on each other for that very reason. And so there's a lot of those processes going, and those are real fun to do. But I added the health, the dental, the vision, because people feel like they need it. And so by looking at what the community is asking for, and how they're perceiving. I can't change their mindset. I can only change my mindset. And by targeting and doing it the right way on how to market, people are calling me. And so my phone's ringing and I don't have to sell them. They call me saying, I need this. Can you help me? And that's what we all need to do. But we all get excited. If Jordan, if you say right now, you know what, Dagan, I might need insurance. Guess what most people are going to do? Oh, well, yeah, wait, what kind of insurance? Why do you need it? What's going on? Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, hold on. I can show you something real quick. You want me? Here, let me share a screen real quick. Now I just jumped into excited mode and now I'm selling you. And really it's like, cool, Jordan. All right, well, yeah. I mean, let's first finish all this and let's set up a time to talk either right after this or like if we're in person and we're at an event or something, say we can go sit at the bar or sit at a table or we can reschedule it for tomorrow. But some people are like, I don't want to lose the sale. I was like, he just said he wanted it.
Yeah.
Like now just take care of him, provide value, education, and sell. And then when you sit down tomorrow, you sell them. If you're that worried about losing it, then try to do it later, but don't just blow up right there. And say, all right, I'll do it here. Hold on. Let me send you some docs real quick that I'll need you to sign and be, it's.
Yeah. And people can smell desperation. Like, even though, like, maybe y'all in a good position in your business, but you get that super excitement. Like, oh my God, let's do it right now. Like, hold on. Now I'm a little too much. Like, come on too strong.
Yeah.
And it's so important to have that balance then. Like, hey, I can help you. What's going on? How can we, best serve you at a time that's best for everybody?
And the tricks I teach you in the book are not just networking. If you are cold calling or door knocking, they work for that too. So if I'm going to go, let's say I join the local chamber. Everyone knows what a chamber of commerce is. I join the local chamber of commerce, let's say in Westlake, a city outside of Austin here. And I start looking through the directory of all the places. I'm going to go to some of their events first. You're going to get some people who, I'm sales, I got to sell, I'm going to go just door knock. No, that's not how you do it. You go to some of the chamber events for the next 30, 60 days at least, if not 90.
Yeah.
Meet all the influencers, all the connectors, all the extroverts. And then I turn around and after, let's say 60, 90 days, I call you, Jordan, and say, hey, Jordan, and let's imagine you're a dentist. I say, Jordan, I come by your office. I go, hey, Jordan, I'm in the chamber. I noticed you're in the chamber. I haven't gotten to see you at any of the events. And it doesn't matter if I'm talking to the dentist or the front staff. I say the same thing. Say, hey, I noticed none of y'all have been showing up to the events. And like, yeah, it's really hard for us to get out because we're here 9 to 5. And I go, oh, I totally get it. Well, because I haven't gotten to see y'all, there's people I know that could use a dentist. And there's probably some people that could use my services. So when's a good time to come by, sit down, do a little walkthrough, check out the place, and get to know more about your business? Now, I just told either the staff or the dentist, I just said, hey, you joined an organization and you're not showing up. So I'm calling you out nicely. And then you admitted that you're not showing up. And now I've showed up to your business and said, how can I get to know you better so that I can bring you clients? What's the chance the dentist is going to say, okay, yeah, can you come in next Tuesday?
Super high.
Yeah.
Clients?
And because I've done this, it's at almost 50%. They're like, well, hey, I got a few minutes right now. Can we talk right now? And then I'll go in there. But if I've got things planned, I'm like, you know what? I got 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll talk for a couple of minutes, but I will make sure that I'm setting up a time to go longer into it because then I'm letting him take over and direct everything and throwing off my game, my plan.
Yeah. I
want to have a longer 1-hour meeting. I don't want to have a 5-hour meeting. But yeah, I'll take the 5-hour. And sometimes if you're bold, you go, yeah, I got to run to the next place, but when are you free for like 30 minutes? I'll come back because now I don't look hungry. But but if I'm there, I'm going to try to sit down for a few minutes. Now I'm going to sit down with that person. So that's a cold call. But I turned that cold call into a warm call because we had a connection, which is the chamber. And I showed up and then I told them, hey, you're not showing up to things. I'd love to meet you. I'm so much want to meet you. I drove my butt over here to say hello. While you're working and making money, I took my time to come to your business That's showing that you care.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe he becomes a client. But again, I'm not worried about selling the dentist. I want the dentist to send me all his clients. And that's one of the biggest things we do. We look at everyone as a sale. I don't look at people as a sale. I look at the people they know as a sale. If Jordan buys insurance from me tomorrow, that's great. But that's not going to change my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But if Jordan sends me a referral each month for the next year, that's changing something. And so we need to not look at people as a sale. And one of the things I do is, even if Jordan, you tell me, Dagan, I need some life insurance. You know, the first question I'm going to ask you is, why do you think you need life insurance right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally going to give you a way out.
Yeah.
And some of the best salespeople teach stuff like that. It's just we're not doing it in a marketing way before we sit down with them. And I'm like, why do you need to meet with me? Oh, well, I think I need life insurance. Cool. Why do you think you need life insurance? I'm going to say like 3 whys to get you qualified. I want to get you like not qualified.
Yeah.
If you're going to say, yeah, I need because of this, because I have a son, I'm a single dad, and I need to make sure he's protected. So when I sit down with you to do the sale and we come to the objection part, guess what I'm going to now say? I'm going to say, hey, so how does this sound about protecting? Because I know you came to me about protecting your son, being a single dad. You're the one that's got to watch out for him. How does this feel about you protecting the legacy and helping your son out? What do you like? And so now whatever you say is going to be anti to you wanting to protect your son, which is why the hell you sit down with me in the first place. So it's you have to market yourself right. And if you just plan, it's not very complicated. If you just get in the rhythm of practicing the pre-sale, I can't even do my quote. If you practice the pre-sale,
you need more space.
You will, yeah, there you go. Hey, if you practice the pre-sale, you will then be able, you won't have to practice that hard on the sale. It's going to happen. But we just don't practice enough on how to promote and get ourselves to the sale.
That's so powerful. I think it's so key to have people, not only you qualify them, but them qualify themselves and make themselves more buy into your vision. You say, hey, why you need life insurance or, infinite banking. Now they're selling you, which is the ultimate thing you want. Make it easy as possible for people to buy with friends. And at that point, it's a friendly conversation. If my real estate team, we just passed $1.5 billion in transactions over the past few years, it's all because you're saying it's not transactional. It's how can I help more people and network through people and not kind of, hey, they can buy a house right now, sell a house right now. Like that gets you nowhere. But you can become friends with people. That's the real game changer. And it's so powerful.
And the hardest part is even being with that number of 1.5. The question I will always tell someone is, I will then say, that's awesome. How much do you think you're losing? How much sales did you lose?
Yeah.
Because you lost sales and you may not even know how you lost them. But that's why we look at the things that you're doing to take you to another level, whatever level you're at. And my book is meant to help you go to the next level. And I helped someone, not to just this last year, I took on a client because people can ask me to help them for 90 days. And I will help them through everything, including looking over all their social media, their website, everything. I got her to the point where I told her in under 60 days, I go, you're about to get really slammed with onboarding your clients for what she does. And you're going to have to get some assistance, some virtual assistance or something, because you're going to get overwhelmed. By pretty much somewhere around the 90-day mark, she said, Dagan, I really don't have time to talk to you right now. I'm done with you. You've helped me. My business is booming. I've already raised my prices now 3 times. I'm doing just fine. I'm going to try to go. This was right before the holiday. She's like, I'm trying to go on some vacation. I'll call you when I call you. She's basically like firing me because she was helped too much. And now she's going to make more in this year than I probably am, because she has someone that helped her skip all the trials and tribulations that she was currently going through, and she was going through quite a few. And all I did, I tweaked her website, I tweaked the social media, I tweaked her message. I didn't change anything big, just tweaking everything. All of a sudden, the phone started ringing, clients started coming in. She was going to some events that I told her to go to, talking to the right people, and they started sending referrals. And in about 90 days, she doesn't want me anymore.
A whole new business. You're just too good, Dagan.
I know, right?
That is a good problem to have, though, having way too much business. Again, guys, make sure you go get his book. It's going to change the way you do all things networking and your business as a whole, based on how it sounds. And like, this conversation has been so fun that time's been flying by. Almost noon already. I'm going to have a couple more questions and not take up too much time. I'm going to respect that for you guys. So, for those who are watching right now, Dagan, what do you say the next best step? So, like, that one thing they can do today to really leverage their network better, to get better with that skill set?
Write down your message. You know how every salesperson will tell you, write down your goals, write down this, write down your mantra, write down. I get it. They all say that. But yes, I'm going to be part of that. And I say, write down what you say. And you will be amazed on how much fluff you say in everything you do, in everything you type, in your signature lines, on LinkedIn, no matter what, there's always so much fluff. When people tell me their message or what they do, I will sit there and say, and why do you think I care about that? Or why are you telling me that? Like my company name, and I'll say this real quick. My company name is the Chaw Lifeguard. That's what it is. It's the Chaw Lifeguard because I help I help protect people from drowning in debt due to medical catastrophes. Okay. So that's Chaw, and Chaw stands for, I liked it because it was kind of a fun word, like cha-cha-cha or like chai tea. But Chaw stands for cancer, heart, and accident. Because I learned when people were coming to me for life insurance and other types of insurance, it always came down to, when I asked them, but why today? They said, because so-and-so in my sphere has gotten hit with cancer, heart, or an accident. Those are the top three by far. Like 86% of people, that's the issue they're going to have when they go to the hospital. And so I named it Chaw Lifeguard, but people see it on my badge. I have a badge. Like I don't wear stickers. I go to a network event. You're not going to put no damn sticker on my nice clothes. I have a little badge with a what do you call it? Magnet that I put on, and it says Dagan, and it says Chaw Lifeguard. And people come up to, wait, what? You're a lifeguard? Like, what's a lifeguard doing at this event? And I'm like, yes, I help families and small businesses from drowning in debt due to medical catastrophes. That's my sentence. I say to everyone, I don't care if you're the Pope, Jennifer Lopez, or the elite realtor named Jordan. I'm going to say that exact sentence every damn time. I didn't say insurance. I didn't say life insurance. I didn't say you're going to die tomorrow. You need to get this. I didn't say all those things. Everyone that hears me say that, the first thing that goes to their mind is, wait, I'm a family or a small business owner. I don't want to go into debt. And I know medical catastrophes happen. So then guess what they say? Well, how do you do that? Oh, well, I flush you with a bunch of cash so you can pay all of your bills and not go under. And I keep your business and your personal life afloat no matter what happens in the hospital. You mean like insurance? They said it, not me.
Yeah.
But we're going now back and forth and engaging. And if everyone practiced that, you would have way more engagement, even if you're an introvert, because you wrote it down and you practice. I wrote down that sentence and I looked at every single word and took out the fluff, because so much of what you say is fluff. I'd say I can't say it enough. It's obnoxiously a lot.
I believe that. So master your message, master your elevator pitch, like he was just saying. Dagan is spot on. I think that is so fun. Also, really showcases this conversation. It's been flying by because he's so good at what he does. You understand? To talk to people, carry conversations, make it fun and engaging. This is why you buy his book, Play the Room. We're talking to him directly. And one more quick question.
Yeah.
If you could give one message to the entire world, what would that one thing be?
Wow. Besides read my book.
Yeah.
You need to just put yourself in the other person's shoes. So much of us are not doing that. We're people. I will see business owners posting on social media the message, and I'm like, that message does not even talk to your clients, and you're that's your message. I've even gone into a business and said, is there 3 people that are allowed to post on your Instagram? He said, actually, yeah, me, my salesperson. You're letting a salesperson post on your marketing platform. And he says, and then my website guy. Wow. Wait, the guy who builds your website. Those were and the owner. And I said, and I pulled $100 bill out and I put it on the table. And I said, I bet you, if we look at the last, let's say 5 postings, I can tell you which one of you 3 posted that. Because I could tell by their mindset who was posting. The salesperson was thinking like a salesperson. Yep. The owner was posting because he's the owner and he just posts whatever he wants and that he thinks is relevant. And the website was posting something much more technical. And I was like, yeah, I can tell all 3 of you who wants to take the bet. And all 3 of them were like, I'm not. They were already shocked. I knew there was 3 people posting. And I'm like, I know your product and you're confusing me. And then I looked at their stats. They're losing people every time they posted. People were getting off there.
Wow.
And I asked him, I said, are you paying anyone? He's like, well, I pay them extra to post. I was like, oh, interesting. And he's like, wait, are you telling me I'm paying them extra to post and I'm losing clients? I go, yes, because you have not gotten a message catered to your clients and y'all are not talking about your own mindset, your own minds. And then when you're networking, stop saying no. If you're like, I'm not going to go network today, or I'm not going to go to this event because it's raining, or I'm tired, or all that negativity, all the top salespeople will tell you, stop doing that. And I can't tell you how many times I've told my wife, babe, it's Thursday night. I'm tired. There's a good, basketball game on. I just want to stay home and hang out with the kids. But then I go, you know what? I don't need to do that. We like money. We could use some money. I should go out and work. And I go, and guess what happens when I show up and I have this attitude? Like, I don't show it, but when I'm like, I hope this does something. Guess what happens? Something always happens. I come back and I'm like, babe, you won't believe who I met. You won't believe why I'm so glad I went.
So yes to opportunities.
We say no way too much. We self-sabotage. We're our biggest issue.
I love that. It's so spot on. And guys, make sure you follow the master here of communication and networking, Dagan. See him right here on his page, LinkedIn, the Chart Lifeguard, and get his book, Play the Room Where You Still Can, at this low price before it goes too high. Because before we know it, he's on all the biggest stages, taking over the world. But he is definitely changing lives. And Dagan, thank you so much for being here. Any last words before we hop off this call?
No, just do what you can to stand out. Even today, a purple shirt. I got red lenses here. I'm always trying to stand out. Be the peacock. Don't be the turtle. Even if you're an introvert, you can stand out without compromising your inner self.
I love that. For a while though, about a year, I was wearing this crown every single day. So I get it.
I love it. Sometimes people are, when we're doing meetings, they're like, what are you drinking today? And I keep this next to me. I go, well, I have my glass of water, and I do, because they're always like, we're drinking coffee and tea. And I'm like, yeah, and I pour a little bourbon in there. Which I'm not doing, but guess what they remember later? I get people that have watched or that were in the room, and 6 months later, like, yeah, you were the guy that had the bourbon in the room, and everyone else had like coffee. I wasn't even drinking the bourbon, but because that's the message that sticks in your head. The people on the other side of the table, they need something that sticks. And so what it is stick? Is it the clothes? Is it the thing? It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be crazy. It just has to be memorable. So be memorable. That's my That's my quote I sign when I sign books. I go, be memorable.
Love it. Attention is the new currency, and you can tell Dagan is a master at doing so. For those watching, thank you so much for watching the Elite Edge podcast. We have the best guests around the world and here in Austin, Texas as well to showcase how to go from a top player to world class like Dagan himself. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you very much.